how many
Yeah.
projects are you actively involved in at the moment? If you could just tell us
Oh
quickly and break
yeah.
it down.
Oh man. Okay. So I have to think about this. Okay. So Cairnair, I think is has been considered like my main project. So that's currently active. And then Gone Mage, which was created as like a alternate reality to Cairnair in a way, but kind of going on with its own storyline, its own trajectory, totally separate from that project. That's a solo project, so that's active. And then Homeskin, which is ironically a spin-off sort of Gone Mage. Not necessarily in the lyrics or anything like that, but just spiritually. It's like an opposite, like a day and night kind of thing. So those
All right.
three, and then my fourth one that's currently active is a project with my partner. It's totally her brainchild, but I'm just kind of the music engine of that project called Levemir, and that one's like a kind of a acoustic, folky, sort of comfy synth project, kind of ambient, no vocals, no rock, no guitar, or anything like no electric guitar. So it's purely like a calm project with her story. Yeah, so those four are the my current active projects.
Awesome. So, for those wondering, I'm going to leave links to all in the show notes. You can definitely check
That's
out of it. But so
yeah.
for this conversation, actually, we're primarily focused on Caronara. And, I was looking for a proper descriptor of it. And I have to give full credit to, when I do this, everyone knows, the Invisible Oranges,
Ah,
who've titled you
yes.
guys as the black metal scientists. And I think that's very
Hey.
appropriate just for the kind of music that you guys play and just the stuff that you're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
like when I was thinking about it, right? Like my initial introduction actually was when you guys put out Phase Out,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
this
Yeah.
is like the entire trilogy, right? That you're doing off Phase
Yes.
Out.
Yeah.
Phantasmal is part two of the
Hmm.
Phase Out trilogy. But
Hmm.
for those who have like zero idea, and I have to give full credit to Metal Twitter for that because there was a lot of
Yeah.
buzz around Phase Out at that time. So I was like, okay, I have to like see what this all is
What
about,
it
right?
is. Yeah.
And I think that's what's happened, right? Like earlier there were blogs, and then
Yeah.
now it's Twitter, Instagram, few of these
Right.
pages that I kind of follow where when there are a lot of people talking, you just have to check it out because you've been following these
Right.
people for a while and know their taste. So coming back to my question, uh,
Yeah.
for those who are curious, those who are fellow metal nerds, tell us about this Phase Out trilogy and how it all began.
Yeah. Okay. So, what a journey it was. It kind of sprang from a couple different ideas. The absolute first idea that kind of influenced the creativity to even make an album or concept like this was or a few years ago. A friend of mine, he posted some status on Facebook about how he's not a big fan of jewel case CDs. He loves CDs, but he's not a fan of jewel case. And he was like,
Wow.
"Man, I really wish there was someone who could make a CD case in the style, in the material style of like a Nintendo DS case." And I was like, "That would be awesome! Like, I would love to see that. Like, like where it has like the clean clasp, and it's like it's not plastic, but well, I don't know really what material it is, but it's different than jewel case." And that was sort of a seed planted in my head. I was like, "Man, that would be really cool." And then coupling that kind of just with nostalgia for 8-bit, 16-bit games like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, growing up in the 90s. And then you fuse all of that with obviously like my interest and like passion for like black metal and like hardcore and punk. It just became like a snowball of an idea that I presented to the vocalist, Chris. And I was like, "Hey, man, what do you think if we did an album and maybe a trilogy to expand upon it where like characters of ourselves are kind of warped into a video game, like a retro video game dimension?" He was like, "That sounds kind
Wow.
of insane, but I'm into it." And I was like, "Yeah." And I guess in Phase Out there's like a villain or antagonist who does the warping of us, and that character is actually someone that Chris has written about in our past, in our previous parts of our discography, but only in a little bit. And it wasn't video game related. It was just this like malicious, alien character. But he'd only write a couple songs, just here and there, just like a fun little thing. And I was like,
Sure.
what if we use that character as our villain, and we can really build from there. And that's how it all started, and that leads into Phantasmal. If people don't know, at the end of Phase Out, it kind of ends on a little bit of a cliffhanger where maybe we beat this villain, but maybe we don't, and we actually don't. Oh, because he sort of activates like some spell or some like portal that transfers us away from the Phase Out dimension into where we are now in Phantasmal, which is more of a like retro survival horror dimension, totally different from the themes on Phase Out, but still a little bit similar because there's obviously still the video game aspect foundation through it. So yeah, I guess that's kind of it in a big nutshell there.
Wow, that's actually kind of neat, right? I mean, just to go back to what you're saying, it all sparked from someone actually telling you that they don't like jewel case CDs.
Yeah,
that's
just
it.
one idea. Yeah, and I was like, and that just kicked a series of thoughts in my head. I was like, that would be cool. What if we and so I guess to complete that circle a little bit, the CD version of Phase Out that we did, I spent the last few years. But since that guy said that, before we even came up with Phase Out, I had been on the hunt for that type of CD case, and I never found one exactly like the one he wished for. But I did find a case that was similar. It was more of like almost as if like a video rental place from like the early 2000s. Like if they came up with like a clear CD case or a disc case, probably meant for DVDs, or video games, I guess. And I found it and I bought them in bulk. I bought like 50 of those. It was like Chris, the vocalist of Karen. I was like, Chris, we got to use these whenever we make the CD for Phase Out. And so it kind of came full circle there a little bit.